Oh, we're drinking already. We're already getting down. We're getting down already. That's good.
Yeah.
All right, we are live. We are live. Is November the 9th. The year is 2022. The name of the show is After the Game. I'm Mr. 411. And in the studio is Lashana, Liz, and Lacy, the three L's. What's up?
Hey, what's going on?
There used to be a group called 3LW.
I just thought of that when you said
Everybody
that.
remember that
I
group?
feel bad that I did. Hush.
Oh yeah.
Anybody want to sing any of their songs?
Well, I don't know.
All right, I'll do it. I'll sing something off here.
Oh, please don't.
I'll do a little Key Sweat.
Ugh.
That sounds appropriate for you.
I could definitely see you begging.
I was gonna say that.
Oh,
You got me twisted.
you got that one, girl.
Well, I'll sing some Make It Last Forever. You know, and that might tie into today's show because we'll be talking about different couples today. You may hear the name Tom Brady. You may hear the name Udoka, Nia Long, Gisele. You know, whoever else. So we'll talk about all that today, right after this jingle for After the Game. All right, after the game, here we are. Okay, well, we're going to open up the segment with some news and notes.
Okay. Well, first I wanted to say, hello, Williams sisters.
Hey, Miss Lady.
Good to see you. And I want to warn you all that I'm down here in sunny Hurricane Florida.
So you ready? You're ready?
I'm ready. I got plenty of wine. So if the power goes out, I'm going to have to drink fast before it cools off. I'm good. But if the power goes out, that's what happened.
Okay.
Which one would you run out of first, water or wine?
I will definitely run out of water. Got a lot of wine, though.
All right. All right, welcome to the show, everybody. Ladies, are we ready?
Ciao.
Yes, sir. Let's go.
All right.
Alrighty, so we're gonna go ahead and start it with the hit it or quit it for today. And so, who wants to go first?
Me.
Alrighty, sister. So we'll go ahead and let you go ahead and take it.
And in my topic on Hit It or Quit It, we're going to shout out the great state of Texas and the Houston Astros. They won their second World Series.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm going to say about the Astros. But I just want to touch on a little bit about Johnny Baker, Dusty Baker.
Is that his real name?
His name is Johnny Baker, but he goes by Dusty Baker. He's the manager for the Houston Astros. He's been a manager for them since 2020, but he's spent 19 seasons playing in the Major League Baseball. He's been a manager for like 4 other teams besides the Houston Astros, and he is one of the oldest managers to win a championship. And just today, he signed a 1-year contract with the Astros to manage them for the 2023 season.
That's awesome.
Wow. Congratulations.
Love it.
Yeah. Great information. I did not know his name was Johnny.
I didn't either. When it said Johnny Baker, I'm like, who's that?
My.
Named him Dusty. Like, why would that be a name, y'all?
Yeah, you know he's probably from the South, and there's probably a reason for it.
Well, yeah, they
He's
call
actually
him
from California.
Is he really?
He's a California
His
native.
parents are from the South. Mine were.
dirty, and he was a dirty kid. He liked to play outside in the dirt.
Well, you know, baseball's in the dirt now, you know.
That's
Dusty.
coming all dusty.
All right, exactly. I love it. I love it.
Like,
Yeah.
All right, so shout out to Dusty. I love it. I love it. I love it. Anything else, Ms. Williams?
No, that's it.
oh, that's good.
All right, yay. All right, Miss Lacy, you ready?
Sure. For what?
All right, you're hit it or quit it. Like,
Kyrie Irving.
Okay, I better slow down on the Vino.
yes, ma'am.
Oh,
What was I talking about? Oh, was this the one about Kyrie Irving?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh yeah, and I was looking into there's just way too much going on there. I think that young man, did he go to college? Anybody know?
He went to Duke, I believe.
correct.
He went to Duke.
Duke, yes, ma'am. Now, he didn't finish, but he went.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
okay. Well, I mean, he just doesn't get it. And I was listening to some of the things that they're going to require of him, and I don't understand it. What is the point? He doesn't understand that when he says something wrong, you have him apologize, and he's like, okay, I apologize. Like he doesn't even know what it is that he's apologizing for.
I thought he refused to apologize. Isn't he refusing?
Well, he never actually says the words. That's true.
Right.
But
there was an apology that was issued on his behalf that,
yes.
Yeah, he kind of gets what's going on or whatever. But I mean, I think he did what he had to do.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, absolutely. And then the Anti-Defamation League was supposed to receive a $500,000 donation from him, and they rejected it because they felt like he wasn't really sorry. He's not.
Hold on 1 second, please. They rejected $500,000.
They did.
Okay, carry on.
They said we don't want your money. Let's see. He's supposed to take sensitivity training and anti-Semite training. He's going to have to meet with the Jewish leaders if they will meet with him, and then he's got to meet with the owner and convince the owner that he is really changed his tune. Now, I disagree personally with his stance on things as far as like, I kind of read, I didn't get a chance to watch that movie, but I read about it, and they were talking about, so a lot of the things in it were anti-Jewish as far as European Jews. But this is still America. I mean, I don't understand why we're going through all of this. I mean, people have said terrible things. Who are people in management? You overhear what they're saying, or like when they get caught saying something, and I don't think anybody's had this kind of a backlash before. I mean, like, we know that people use the N-word that shouldn't have, and yet I don't remember anybody getting anywhere near this kind of punishment. So
Interesting.
Does the punishment fit the crime? I don't really think so. And I don't think you can really change what's in somebody's heart when it comes to this. This is what he believes. For whatever reason, he believes it. And so I don't quite understand where we're all going with this in America.
Okay, I'd like to interject. What do we know what he believes? Like, first off, because he hasn't said anything. There was a link that was posted. So I think like we're reading a whole lot into what he's saying. That's number one. But I agree, this is absolutely America. So you do have freedom of speech, and you should be able to say, post, whatever. Now, you are not free from your consequences, so I get that piece too. But let's come to the point of really, what is the punishment? Absolutely does not fit it. One, I've said this before in the other shows when we were talking about the naked man and the masseuses. What is codified?
Not.
You know what I'm saying? What is codified? We're not codifying anything. Mm-hmm. So y'all let him sit up here a week, and here we are, like, now you have a whole list of demands. Like, this should all, like, I think there's a SOP for everything. You know what I'm saying? Your standard operating procedure. So it doesn't matter if this happens again, then we know, okay, boom, now if this 5 things is the 5 things that you're going to make somebody do. Okay. Mm-hmm. Next thing, apologies are ridiculous. Like, forced apologies are like the worst thing. Lizzie, do you remember when I ran away when I was like 13?
No.
I ran away, and then I was mad at Uncle Woody when he came by. Yes. I ran away. Yes. And then like they sent this man from church to come pick me up, and I was nasty. And I was like, I was upset. And so I was like, you need to apologize to him. And he was like, do not force her to apologize to me because she doesn't mean it. Mm. And like, why are we forcing someone? So you want to force an apology, then you want to force the money, and we don't want your money because we don't believe your apology is true. Well, I had to apologize because my job is making me do so. Do you understand what I'm saying? And so, like, going back to this money business, y'all crazy if y'all missing out on funds. That's
but
just,
hold on, because I want to interject real quick. Not only is he supposed to apologize, but he's supposed to condemn said movie. He's supposed to say that this movie is a terrible movie, or like we're not supposed to watch it, or we're not supposed to do whatever. He's supposed to condemn said movie. So, like, I just think that they have unrealistic expectations of this man who never said, I support this film. Watch it. It's a good movie. Watch it. He didn't say anything. He shared the link.
But
he just posted the link, correct?
Yeah, what is he apologizing for? Yeah. If I was Kyrie Irving, I would give them my black ass to kiss. But he's not Elizabeth Good. Because if I said it, I meant it and I stand on it.
But it's one of those things. It's like I don't see this kind of like swift action when somebody uses the N-word or somebody's insulting black people, which happens all the time.
I'll tell you one better. Let's go back to the women. I'll go back to this. Where are all of these when a player beats his wife? There's not a standard to say, I want you to apologize to your wife. I want $500,000 to go to the abuse network to support women who are abused. I need you to apologize to women. You need to sit down and talk to the League of Women and apologize to them and then explain. None of this. We canceled a man for fighting dogs, and we can't get the same. We can't get the same for women. We can't get the same for colored people. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, where do we draw the line? Colored people. Whatever color you happen to be, pick your color. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't have the same thing is not said for us. Like, come on now. Like, let's get a standard together and just say that all the time, this is the way things go. So, listen, if Kyrie doesn't apologize, it doesn't hurt my feelings. It might hurt his bank account, or whatever. But more power to the brother. And so, let's just say this last piece. As you're forcing this, what else will we be forcing in the future?
Right.
It's
great question.
When does something else happen that's like, we don't like that? Whoever we are, we don't like that. And so, you know what? You need to apologize. And I really do feel like we're making a public display of this man here. Last piece I will say, I think that Kyrie and Herschel are the opposite sides of the coin. Because we have the good Negro that we're supporting, and so Herschel's a good boy. Herschel does what he
cares if he kills the babies. It doesn't matter that he kills the babies. He ain't posting no anti-Semitic stuff on the net.
Exactly. And so it's anti-Semitic because, once again, history is written by the rulers and the winners. So I mean, I haven't read it, but
that's true up to a point. Because sometimes history is written by idiots that don't know what the hell they're talking about. They're just making up shit.
That's true. But listen, let me say the gag is this. Anti-Semitism, like a hatred for Jews. If this man, in fact, believes that the blacks are the true Israelites and are Jewish, he's not a hater of Semites. And there you have it. He's not anti-Semitic. And that's the gag.
And if that's what he believes, then who are we to tell him that he's wrong?
Exactly. And so that's where we are. So I don't know. Anything else, ladies, on this point?
I love that though. It's nice. It was a good
I think you hit the nail on the head. Yeah, and we just gonna pray for brother Irving because
he needs to just be quiet. Just don't say anything.
Well, listen, they was mad because he wouldn't say anything when he was like, "Don't dehumanize me. Don't force the point." Now we want you to say something. When he shut his mouth and didn't want to say nothing, they mad because he ain't said nothing. So I don't know.
I think Kyrie Irving should be Kyrie Irving and do what he feels is best for him at this point. Like, you a grown man, can't nobody tell you what to do or how to do it. So I think you should make your point, stand on it, and that's what it is. You already having consequences, so you might as well just make your point and stand on it. But I share stuff all the time on the internet, and it's not what I believe. It's not what I think. It was just something entertaining or something unbelievable. I'm like, look at this. But let me be quiet before they take my YouTube page.
That would probably get me fired if I had a job.
I'm telling you.
Right, so they might come after you. All right, well, I think that was good. I do want to say two things. Herschel Walker is in a runoff, if you can believe it.
Please. I'm trying not to be sick.
I can't believe that people actually went out here and voted for him. Although I will say I saw that it said 70% of the voters for him were white. So I think that goes back to my point. And y'all know Brittany was moved to her little prison.
Yeah.
Is she in Siberia or I mean, it's prison no matter where it is, I guess.
Yeah, look,
She's
I'm not.
somewhere in Russia, in
bad for
some
her, 'cause
kind
that
of
was
Russian prison. But if you pray for Brittany, because I imagine this is one of the hardest times of her life, and it's gonna get worse before it gets better.
And absolutely pray for her wife. You know what I mean? Because like you hear and you can't do. You can't do.
Right.
Well, all right. I think we've hit it and quit it and wrapped it up.
And Mr. 411 is gonna take us to a commercial break.
Sounds good.
That is the plan.
Hi, I'm Latanya. I'm the owner of Heavily Spa Mobile. I've been in this business 19 years plus. If you're in dire need of a massage for achy muscles, back, neck, shoulder, hip, legs, feet, come on down and schedule an appointment with me. You can't go wrong. There's nothing wrong with taking care of you because no one's going to be able to take care of you. I'm located at 2484 Ingleside Avenue, and that's in Building 8, and that's in Macon, Georgia. Again, you can go online to Heavenly Spa Mobile to schedule your future appointment, or you can reach out to me at 478-747-9231. I look forward to seeing you soon.
Sorry. I was afraid I was gonna run out of wine.
Latanya out at Heavenly Spa Mobile.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you, Miss Latanya, for that plug. All right.
The last commercial?
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and move on.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about love in sports. And we're going to set our love in sports off talking about Tom and Gisele. And their love story that ends in divorce. Tom and Gisele met in December of 2006 through a mutual friend. She says when she first met him, she fell in love with his smile. And the day they met, they sat and talked for 3 hours until she had to leave to go home for Christmas.
Wow.
And she said after she met him, after their initial meeting, they never went a day without talking. So they talked on the phone at least every day. 2 months into their relationship, though, Tom reveals that his ex-girlfriend is pregnant and she's going to have a baby. And Gisele thought about it. She said she thought about it. Even in the book, she said she thought about it, but it wasn't a deal breaker for her. She was like, when you love someone, you love what makes them happy. So she accepted the baby. She didn't break up with them. And she said she even grew to love his son. She said she grew a relationship with her son. That was her bonus child. She loved him. Well, then after the baby, in 2009, they got engaged. They got married in February of that same year. And then in April of 2009, they had another wedding. Because who doesn't need 2 weddings? You got to have 2 weddings.
I'll have another thing.
December 2009 was their year. Because in December of 2009, they welcomed their first son together. And then 3 years later, they welcomed a daughter. They were shown everywhere in love, holding hands, kissing during interviews, on red carpet, at Tom's games. She was his biggest supporter, and they appeared like the loving family unit. Now, LaShawna is going to tell us how we went from all that love to what's going on now.
All right. So I think what happened really is that we've been together a long time now. Here we go, 13 years in, and so we have these kids, and I am supporting you. Now, she was a model, and she kind of, for the most part, put her career on the back burner to raise this family. And it's cool. Like, I think a lot of ladies will do this. And so she has been Tom's biggest cheerleader, supporter at all the games and all of that stuff. She had said that, like, they had a little playlist to ride to the games, and like all these little cute little, like, real cute stuff, man. Cute stuff.
They were cute.
Like, super, like, really a cute couple. And so we get to February, and here we are, like, finally he's gonna retire. Now listen, y'all know I don't do football, I don't do sports, but his butt look old to me. So he probably should have been to the point of retiring. I look at you saying you've been doing it a long time, sir. Like, so get on out there. So February, I'm retiring. And so, yes, I'm going to spend more time and focus on things that are important to me. And I'm out. And I remember Gronk giving him like a retirement gift and being mad because 6 weeks later, here he comes and says, I have unfinished business and I got to go back. What you got to go back for?
What unfinished business?
Yeah, I was like, he looks terrible. And listen, I don't keep up, but I know they have been doing great this season since you've been playing. All right, so when he said he was retiring,
they won the Super Bowl. They had just won the Super Bowl, and so
go out on top. Or I'm thinking like, hey, I'm going out on top. Let's go ahead and do this thing. So when he was retiring, here she is, like, I love you. I've supported this whole time. Yes. I'm getting my med. Now you're talking about he coming back. She was silent. So already you got to think like you're halfway. She didn't post anything. She didn't say anything. She ain't commented on nothing. So it's like, okay, now this is your biggest cheerleader, your biggest supporter, but she goes radio silent. So you already know, like in the back of people's minds, you have to wonder what's really happening. What's really happening? All right. So they go on like the summer, like we've celebrated the anniversary. We see the pictures. It's my birthday. Pictures.
They made a cute post. They had
you know what I'm saying? Like how much like he said, I couldn't live without you. Like you were my world. You support me. All of this stuff. Now we get to football season starting up, and he needs some time off. I think also, y'all, this is just me. He looked like handsome Squidward. I think he had some facial plastic surgery business going on or something because he looks different.
Handsome Squidward.
Okay, so yes, handsome Squidward.
No, I was just asking, is that what you said? He's a handsome Squidward?
Yes, like if I don't know, Miss Lacy, if you know, because I know the children, they watch the SpongeBob, and so there's the character Squidward, and there's an episode where he kind of gets like a face, like a whole little face enhancement done, a little butt cheek implant put in, and stuff. It looks really nice. And I think Tom Brady did some work on his face because he's old.
I never watched SpongeBob. My kids are older than that.
Hey, Dr. Miami is going crazy right now on TikTok, and maybe Tom Brady needs to go holler at him because if his surgeon fumbled that ball.
Come on,
who are you talking about?
Tom Brady. If he had some work done, his surgeon fumbled that ball.
He looks different to me. Like I think he used to look good, but like he looks funny now.
And maybe the difference between being 35 and 45. I mean, gravity takes over, like your body doesn't do the stuff it used to do.
Lacy, he was some plumping going on, some cheekbone enhancement, a little butt chin business.
He had a little lift in
something to his face to look a little better.
The dimple.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what the Squidward piece is. He got the thing, and I'm like, why does his face look like that? But I think he was trying to enhance himself because once again, you're old and you're still trying to be out here with these young men,
with these young kids. Yeah.
But why would you do that if you're going to now go and play football? You're just going to get smashed in the face and stuff. That seems kind of.
Well, he has to look good in his pictures.
Well, yeah. Well, listen. I think that the other part of this is like, watch how soon he shows up with like a hot young thing. I'm not.
Oh yeah, she's on the way.
She's loading. I think that's gonna pop up, and so. She's loading. But so like he took off 11 days. They said they weren't worried about him. So that's August. September 1st comes around. They had a big fight. She moves out the house. She leaves America and goes to South America. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, okay. Now we see that like halfway through September, we notice now they've been living separately for over a month. Like she's gone. And so he's
playing terrible.
He's playing terrible. People are commenting on that, like what's going on? And once again, she's radio silent. They've seen her out with the kids. He's not there. There's not a whole lot of like togetherness. He showed up to a game with the kids, not her. Like she's out at the water park. No ring on. So, of course, we're like, okay, there is trouble brewing in paradise. Okay. And then we get to, October 14th, we hear that she's hired a divorce lawyer. And then on the 28th, they put out this great statement together that we're filing for divorce. Like, it's over. And so I strongly believe, like this is just me and my talking, that the lack of support and like him changing his mind about being out there on the road and continuing to play after all this time is kind of what led to that. And so, like, you know, I ain't never been married, but I think, like, you know, I ain't never been married.
Yeah, stop turning people down, girl.
Yeah, I ain't never been married before, but you know, like, I just know in relationships though, that's a work. You know what I'm saying? That people, you get together and you work something out, right? You work
and insert kids, and it becomes hard work. It becomes an even harder job. And I think that men don't realize that the work that women put into raising a family. I don't think that even in the long-term relationships that aren't falling apart, you know, the woman puts in a whole lot into raising children. I don't think men realize that. And when she says she needs help, she needs help. And when you say, okay, I'm going to slow down and I'm going to stop playing football and I'm going to help you, and then you go back and play football, that's a slap in the face to her. She wants you to come get these damn kids. Come help her raise these children and get them where they need to be in life, and give her a break, or just, you know, like a support system that you can't give when you're on the road at games all the time. And I think men don't understand what comes with raising children. She's doing it essentially by herself and she's tired.
Right. And I think, like, the fact that, you know, I was pissed off when he was talking about playing football is like being deployed. And it's like, sir, I was right along with the military families that are like, no, sir, there's one thing for me to be supportive of a husband who is fighting for my country. You're fighting for a Super Bowl.
A Super Bowl ring, precisely.
And so, yeah, like, it's not the same thing. And so, like, you know, of course, Gisele is, you know, sacrificing her life and taking care of her kids just like any other mom would do, but it's not the same thing, guy. And so
it's different when you have a husband. It's the one thing when you're like a single parent or whatever, but she has a husband. Her husband's supposed to be there, you know, he's supposed to kick in and be able to help her and be somebody that she can rely on to support her. She slowed her career down to raise these children. Now it's time for your old ass to sit down and help me raise these kids.
Yeah.
How many Super Bowl rings do you need, sir?
He think he Thanos, girl. He's trying to get the whole handful.
I think he's had it. I don't believe he's in Liver anymore, but we'll see. It's my
if
turn.
You can get it, sit in the bench.
Go ahead.
Somebody else gets it.
Okay. First of all, as a military spouse, I can say for sure that it's nothing like having somebody be deployed when you have to worry if they're going to be dead sometimes, or what kind of situations they're in. What's going on. You don't know where they are. Sometimes you don't know when they'll be back. I remember years and years ago, we were in Germany and was it the Gulf War that kicked off? One of them. And my husband was like, I'm deploying, and I didn't see him for like 4 months. So no, it's not the same. But honestly, I was reading about their situation and some of the things that were said. And I really feel for Gisele. I think she probably gave him an ultimatum. And as ultimatums go, if you don't back that shit up with action, if he doesn't do what you said he needs to do, then you got to go. You got to mean it.
Right.
And I think she gave him an ultimatum. And I think he didn't think she would go through with it. And she said, F that. I don't need you. If this is gonna be my life, I can do bad by myself. You know. Although to be fair, they got a pretty cushy life. Nobody's really struggling here.
Well, she had to buy a smaller house, Miss Lacy. Like, you know, I
don't think
she's down a bedroom.
I think she chose to, you know. But even so, I mean, as a and Liz, I know you have children as well. You know, as part of what goes into raising kids, it's a lot. It takes a lot, particularly if you're trying to do it right. And yeah, they're a lovely blended family at this point. But the men, some of the stuff I was reading that she had to say was, she said, you know, I'm a football wife. I know that I married into this. He was a football player when I met him. That's fair. But you know, I expect for him to be gone during the football season. The football season generally lasts from somewhere like late July to January or February if you're Tom Brady. But she's like, but then when he's off work, at the time when he should be spending time with his family, now he wants to catch up on all the other stuff.
He's out fishing.
he's not trying to catch up on the kids and doing stuff with them unless it's something really fun for him. He wants to do all this other stuff. And I understand that because trust me, my husband when he would go TDY and he would come home and he'd be like, he wants to sleep all day on Saturday. No, Eric, I mean, he has a game over there and she has a game over here, and we got to go. You got to take one of them, and I'm taking the other one. You know what I mean?
Right.
I understand that he's tired, but it's like, this is my struggle all the time. I'm working full time too. And I think, like in Giselle's case, she's a model, and she was a supermodel from what I understand. But when she started having kids with him, these are the prime years of her life. That kind of money that she would be making is non-existent. So this is what she's given up. Now, at this point in her life, I don't know how old she is. I think she's younger than him by quite a bit, but I'm not sure. He's 45. I think she's probably around 38, maybe. I'm just guessing.
Right.
But I mean, it's too late to really be a model like she used to be. So she wants to have a second career, and I'm sure she will. You know, she's going to have to, find something to do. But
she's 42.
She's 42.
Mm-hmm.
She looks great, but but she's still not. It's a little too late for her to try to be a supermodel again. So she gave up a lot, and men don't ever take into consideration what you're giving up because you get to raise their children. And of course, back in the good old days when you could sit on the front porch and walk, you know what I mean? It's like,
yeah,
women back then didn't have to work outside of the home. So yeah, raising kids was a hard job anyway. But when you also have a full-time job, it's like, are you crazy? This is no, we are going to split this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, job or no job,
I get my ass up
or
every
no
day and go
housewife.
to work just like you do, and I ain't having it. She's like,
job or no job, housewife or no housewife. At some point, get your kids, get them.
Yeah, and he's Tom Brady, so for him when he shows up, you know how the kids are. Oh, it's daddy. It's like, you little ungrateful little. It's like, I've been here doing everything. It's just like when my dog loves him better than me because I'm the one that takes her to get shots and take her to the vet and do all this other stuff she don't want to do. Daddy does none of that. He just gives her treats. She's like, oh, I love daddy. But that's kind of like men will do that if you let them.
If you let them, correct.
That's kind of my point. And she's like, I'm drawing the line here. And when you do that, you got to back that shit up. And she did. I'm like, you go, girl. I'm with it for her. She's not losing much. He's only around less than half the time anyway.
And it's getting cold outside, and it's the perfect time to divorce Tom Brady because it is my favorite season of the year, stepdaddy season. She could get a man in there who doesn't play football, who's going to take them kids to their games, pick them up from school, and make them a snack. It's stepdaddy season.
And take care of everything else. That's what I'm talking about. They're out there. Mm-hmm. But LaShawn, I hope you're wrong about him showing up with a 25-year-old next week.
I think it's coming. I mean, like we'll have to keep an eye on that. But I just think that I think that's what that face work was. I'm telling y'all, he had face work.
He's definitely about to up his massage game. He's about to start getting more and more massages. He's gonna take a page out my boy book.
He's gonna go hang out with Deshaun, huh? No.
Oh, Lord. All right. Anything else on these two? What do y'all feel like? Anything else we got on this little?
No, we just wish them well. I wish them well. And
stop it! No.
We're gonna have to talk to production about canceling this picture.
I know, like it needs to go into the garbage real fast.
That's why I said no earlier because when we said Deshaun, I said no because I knew he was
coming.
Had that. But yeah, I wish them well as well. I mean, nobody's going to really be hurt here. I mean, these are very wealthy people who have enough money to kind of make the transition work out for everybody.
Yeah. Prayers for the babies. I like, the babies.
Yeah, their children who are infected. Yeah.
So probably goes to the kids. So bless the babies. All right, ladies. So we've wrapped up Tom and Gisele. So
we're gonna roll right on into it. Nia and Ime. Is his name Ime? Am I saying this right?
I say Ime. It's Ime.
I think Ime, but I call him Ime because that's
Ime Udoka, right?
Yes.
Okay. They too were introduced by a mutual friend. Stop letting your friends hook you up, y'all. It don't work out. It doesn't work out. In February of 2010, they fell in love really, really fast. And in November of 2011, she gave birth to their son. They were together 5 years, I think, before he proposed to her in June of 2015. And later down the line, they seem like kind of moved under the radar. They didn't really like have, you might see pictures of them or whatever, but they moved a lot under the radar. Like they kept whatever they had going on in their relationship private. We knew they were engaged. But Nia did an interview in 2020 and she admitted that she might not ever get married. She said where it was every woman's fantasy to get married, she didn't need that to prove that she was in love. So Shauna's going to finish the rest of this and tell us what led up to his creeping.
Now, see, what led to the creeping now, I don't know.
What led up to the creeping?
But
no, I don't know.
Well, no, so some people would say the fact that she doesn't want to be married, it might have something to do with that. The man was excited. You had his baby. He put a ring on it, and he was the one really pushing for marriage. And so, like she said, she's happy. Like, listen, but she was flying across the country to go to these games when he became the Boston Celtics coach. So she's always supporting, when they won the championship, she was right there cheering on her man, like all the posts and stuff. So like she has, like you can tell they love, like they look like they were very much in love. Like, they
love each other, right?
Supported one another. Now, I don't know why men cheat. We need some men on here to tell us why do y'all cheat. That would be a good
Come back, Mr. 411, and tell us why y'all cheat.
They'll never admit it. They'll never admit to why.
Come on back, Tyrone.
I don't know.
Tell us why y'all cheat.
Because like the question would be like, so some people would say like it's Nia Long, and so like because she's Nia Long, that doesn't like make her impervious to cheating. But over the summer we find out, or like there was a buzz going around that something was going on over here. We get to the beginning of the season, which is funny. Like, why do you hold these things? Like, why do we, like something's going on, there's an investigation happening, and now we find out that, he's in trouble because he's out
this picture
someone. Like he's had an extramarital affair. Now he's being suspended from his job. And it was a whole mess really with Boston because people wanted to know who it was. And so, and I know that was a big deal. And so like, people were like, posting all the different women that were in the camp that worked for the Boston Celtics. They had pictures of the trainer. Who was that? Like, it was like, is it her? Is it her? Is it her? Like, who are these women?
The janitor.
The woman. It would like so, and it's a weird thing because like one, they ran through all the black women first. I remember that, like, it was very much like all the black women kind of popped up first, and then we kind of moved around to some of the other ladies that were in the midst of the group. And so, and then there was some talk of like, maybe it's one of the higher ups wives or someone that was related to them and like why this became a big deal. Now, because I asked the question, first off, like, wow, so they're going to suspend him for a whole year for this cheating scandal that happened. But it was supposed to be a consensual affair.
Right.
So it's like, wow. So like you all have, and it's just Boston has like some kind of morality clause where, fraternizing like this is incorrect. And so like you could be subjected to this kind of thing. So we settled on the lady was the one that was making like the travel arrangements and stuff for the organization. This young woman here. I have a problem with the fact that we had to talk about how she was a devout Mormon mother of 3 when it all comes out.
Doesn't seem like it.
Oh, they posted her picture with her family.
Yeah. And so like, okay, so I have some issue. Like, so there has been issue of like why we're not talking about the woman. Well, if it was consensual, then like I don't understand like why we're covering up for her. And so like once again, I think we come to this point of making a good example of this man in this situation. So once again, I really do want to talk about this devout business. It's like the media will spin stuff to make it seem like a thing. She was a cheater, y'all. I'm sorry, she was an adulteress. She had an affair on her husband. And that doesn't take away like you can't be a Christian or whatever, but like the fact that they tried to spin it as this thing, like they weren't going to release her information. Her stuff never really was officially released from the Boston Celtics team because they thought that there was nothing that needed to be said about her.
Nor does she suffer any consequence, even though they have like some kind of morality clause within their organization. It was only the coach's fault, not the travel or planner or whatever.
He's not actually married.
And right. So it's a thing. And so, like, once again, the question is, and so, like, her husband he's part of the Celtics team as well, or like something, right? He's like no,
I thought he was as well, because they were saying that he was like one.
I thought he worked for them too.
Like he worked
about it is
whatever. So
Danny Ainge, I don't know if you know who he. Well, you probably don't know. He's a Celtics. He's a big wig, and he's like from the Larry Bird era and Kevin McHale and all of that. So he was a big time up high up in the hierarchy. And she is a friend of his family. She went to school with his daughter. So clearly nepotism is at work here, of course. So she gets this job 2 years after she graduates from BYU as a some position that either was made up for her. Okay, now that's not fair. It was either made up for her or vacated by somebody. I don't know, but I do know that he got her. His influence is what got her the job. Right. And so he is like very high up in the hierarchy, and so so she's not married to a VP, but it's like he's big time, and so you don't do stuff to piss him off. I feel like that's the biggest reason why there's been such a cover up for her.
That makes sense.
She's one of his daughter's friends, and apparently a really good friend of the family.
Okay, well, she probably should have, like you probably should be a little more cautious of where you are. Now, I have this thing about, like, I know lots of places and businesses have, like, a non-fraternizing like situation, and it's a weird thing because if you're always at work, where do you meet people? Like that's always a thought of mine. Like, how do people meet? If you're always at work, like, where are you supposed to meet someone? But the fact that, like, we're making a big deal because, like, what you said, he's not married. Yeah. But I guess, like, the thought is that he would be using undue influence because he's a supervisor. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because he's the coach or whatever. And so I'm guessing that's what the problem is.
He's not her supervisor.
No, he's not her supervisor. He has nothing to do with, he's nowhere in her chain of command.
Exactly.
I mean?
Well, they're two different sectors.
Well, but the kind of interactions that they had were, as far as I'm aware, they were consensual. There was no question of any coercion or anything like that. This is just stuff that they're trying to manufacture.
Well, no, I think they said that sometime afterwards, and so I'm not sure that, like, there were comments made to her that she wasn't comfortable with. And
after she had slept with him, though, after she had the affair.
Right. And so that's like one of those things. It's kind of like my friend ZC says all the time about, if a man is hitting on you and he's ugly, then it's like, no, leave me alone. But if it's somebody that you're kind of into, you kind of allow. And so it's like, so now that you're not fooling with the man anymore, now it's a problem. Now it's an issue you want him to stop. And then now it's like, I'm blowing my whistle. And so I think that happens sometimes. Like, there's not a good line drawn that, like, as long as they were in the relationship, they were good. But now that it's over, you know what I'm saying? Like, now, like, please leave me alone. Let's stop.
Well, what happened? Her morals and her values kicked in.
Yes.
They kicked in because she's such a devout Muslim. And so her morals and values, Mormon. I said, what did I say?
You said a Muslim, girl.
I did. but you know what I was talking about.
Oh, absolutely.
So she was such a devout Mormon that she, like, took her moral and value pills, and then she said, oh my God, I cannot do this. So he acted the same as they always acted. It automatically became offensive to her because her moral and value pills had kicked in. She got her prescription
I don't understand how your moral and value pills didn't kick in when you were making the flight arrangements for Miss Nia. Like, you know what I'm saying? She had up until the time when the announcement was made about the whole suspension and the cheating scandal, had just made the arrangements for her to move to Boston, where she and her son were coming to find a place. So it's like, I'm so amazed at this. And I don't know, like, I really do think that probably, like, the young woman's connection to the higher up is what's the whole issue with this whole thing here.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
It has to be. And so then, like, you know, that I know that so he's suspended for a year. People are upset because I know that the Brooklyn was looking at him as a possible hire. And so they're having like a whole, like there's some pushback to that whole situation over there, like him moving over there.
Yeah, they're trying to make it a bigger deal. Like nobody in the NBA has ever cheated before. Are you kidding me? Come on. It's like,
well, I really want to say I think the Nets is like the moral high ground of the NBA, y'all. Like y'all are missing this. They're trying to be.
Is that what it is?
I think that it looks like they're turning into that. Like that's that land that they're
absolutely. Remember, Kyrie plays for the Nets.
Yes, ma'am. I know, and that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, you can't be against this certain group of people. We don't want a man who cheated, or messed with someone in the.
You know what? These are athletes. They cheat.
You know, even if they cheat or if they cheat or if they not if they didn't or whatever, but okay, he cheated. You can't be more hurt about him cheating than the person that he cheated on. Y'all acting a bigger fool than she is.
Right, and she's just like, please respect my
mental health and my family, and y'all out here dying about this man. He cheated on Nia Long. How could you cheat on Nia Long? Well, we don't know Nia Long. We don't know what goes on in their house. It's not our story to tell. But she's not out here acting a fool the way y'all are, the moral police is, because the lady, she has morals and values, even though she was consensually having an affair with him, with her married ass, and he is of low moral value. It doesn't make sense. Y'all both did it. I would say something, but I'm not. But y'all were both doing that together.
And
there was no gun involved, so you weren't under any pressure. You did it on your own, and the same consequence he has, you should have. There's no way she should still work for him at all.
However, I think a part of it, I don't know how, like managers and people like that, I don't know if they have the same kind of clauses in their contract. I don't really know why you would have that in the contract for a coach, as opposed. I could see why you would have it for a player. I don't understand why you would necessarily have it for a coach, but clearly these things happen. It's not the first time it's ever happened. And I was listening to Stephen A. Smith, his take on all this, and he was like, he's like, the brother, he got caught, he did it, and he deserves punishment. He said, but this is being treated in a whole different way. It's not like he's the first guy that ever did this, but this is the first time we're ever seeing this kind of punishment for somebody.
And so I go back to what I said, standard operating procedure. Like, I don't understand how, like, y'all have a whole, like, what's the league's take on anything? Like, on any league, like, why the league does not have, like, this is our points. Like, this is what we expect you to do. And if you don't follow these rules, if you are, in fact, having an affair or whatever, this is what happens. If you're calling people out their names, this is what happens. Like, why is it not a standard across the board? And I'm sure.
How did this even become a league issue? Do they ever say that? Like, did she come to?
So this is not a league issue. Once again, this is the team.
No, I mean a team issue though. Like, did she come to the team and say that he was harassing her? Like, did she come?
And I want to say yes. So like it was because
she came
after the fact. Was it not? Because I know there was an investigation into him. Yeah, because there was like an allegation that something was going on. So the investigation took place, and that's where we kind of come to the point of like, this is what was going on.
Oh, okay. So she came and said something. She was like, he's whispering sweet nothings in my ear, and I don't like it.
I'm pretty sure that's what has.
I honestly believe that is spin, and I'm going to say why. It's like, the more I read about it, the more suspect it was, because first of all, they're saying that this relationship between the two of them was consensual. And then they're saying that the investigation didn't start until after the affair was already over.
Of
so
course.
What are you finding after the fact that leads you to believe that they are had an affair?
Her husband found out about it and says,
somebody
caught him. Somebody saw them together.
Your investigator has to find this. If her husband found it out and brought it to everybody's attention, then your investigators didn't find it. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of stuff that's being covered up here.
Well, I just want to know how it got out. Like that's what my question was. Like, how did it become?
Oh, it gets out because it's too juicy to keep it to
them. Somebody's getting paid. Listen, like TMZ is paying good money for these good stories that we're speaking on today. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right,
make money. It's like remember when Kobe died in the morgue photo?
They
People are ridiculous, and so here we are talking about this mess that we probably shouldn't be, but you know.
Yeah. Well, honestly, like when I look at it, I'm like, the more I hear about it, sometimes the worse it gets. It's like, okay, like all of this, like just recently, I started hearing about this noise, this chatter about, oh, he was saying some things and she didn't appreciate it. It's like, you know what? If I had an affair with you and we are no longer having an affair, and you make a reference to something that we did, I mean, I might be offended by it, but I mean, you have every right to say it. You know what I mean? Like,
plot twist. He probably broke up with her. That's probably what really happened, and it led to
I would
this
imagine
scandal
that
against
to be
him.
the case.
He had to be punished because how dare you
leave all of me? Let me just be by myself. All right. So listen, in real life, I'm pulling for love. I'm pulling for Black people and Black love. And I like
love wins.
And so, so what do y'all think? I hope they make it. I saw somewhere that they said that they had been meeting with like a counselor, like a preacher or something. And, they're trying to work it out. And see, like, this is the other part of that. Like, I hope it works out for them. But people talk too much. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think people, we get too involved and like people kind of get in people's ears. And so like, if they work it out, God bless them. You know what I mean? Like, why are we so wrapped up in,
why condemn her for staying with her man? That is, I think this whole situation is very much their business. Like, it's not for me to decide. It's not for the world to decide. It's not for Boston to decide. It's for Nia and however you say his name.
Ime.
Yeah, that's between what's best for their family.
Yeah, right. You have a family, have a child, and so let people work things out for themselves.
And honestly, I believe like I think we're just seeing a little piece of why she's not marrying him. She had a baby with him. He's the father of one of her sons, and so the relationship. I think they'll still continue to have this relationship. I don't necessarily think she'll marry him, and I think at this point in time, she's probably very happy that she didn't, because that when you're married to somebody, you have to take certain steps, But when you love somebody, people make mistakes. Sounds like he made a lot of them, but I think that has a lot to do with why she chose not to marry him. We don't know about their relationship. We don't know if they had kind of an open relationship kind of thing. Okay, if you're going to continue to be this guy, I love you, but I'm not going to marry you while you still have this in your system where I'm not enough, or you need whatever it is you think you need. I'll be with you, but I won't marry you because you ain't gonna shame me like that. She's not his wife, and I don't blame her. He's unfortunately, I think he's like one of those serial cheater kind of people. He's in a position of authority and access to stuff like I don't know if he was actually a ball player himself. I think that Mr. 411 told me that he was. I don't remember him, but the whole atmosphere, the whole all the things that go along with what he does for a living. Well, what he did. Hopefully, he'll get a job somewhere. I don't think he should be canceled for that. But yeah, don't marry his ass. No.
At least we can wish them well. Whatever they decide, whatever happens. I want
really
Black love to win. I want Black love to win. But if it can't win with them being together, then good luck.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, awesome conversation, lady. Last call. We're down to the last call. Any wrap-up thoughts for today?
Yeah.
Don't let your mutual friends hook you up because
that's not right. My mutual friends hooked me up with this guy that was one of my friend's roommate, and he showed up, and he's from Texas. I mean.
He wasn't married. Been married. How long y'all been married? You got the hookup. How long y'all been together?
Okay. I can't age myself to tell you the exact truth, but I will say this: 30 plus.
Okay, I was like, you got grown kids, so we kind of know that part.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that part. Yeah. But I mean, I'm from New York. He's from Texas. If somehow we're always butting heads, but it works. I love me some him. I do.
I love it. I love Black love. Now, Elizabeth, you don't want to hook up. You don't want to hook up?
A mutual friend of mine introduced me to, in a word, shall we say, Tony, and that's why I don't believe in mutual friends hooking you up.
Well, I understand.
Oh,
No,
I don't believe in it. I'm anti friends hooking you up because you won't be my friend anymore.
You gotta know Tony to like understand what she's saying.
You just have to understand my pain.
But I'm sorry, but I tell you what, my mutual friend that hooked us up, he every time he comes over, he's like, I remember the time when I introduced you to, and she couldn't stand you, and he was smitten, and he's writing letters. I mean, it was really funny. It's not that I couldn't stand him. I'm like, we just didn't have anything in common. But he writes letters. This is back in the day before cell phones. He writes letters. He reads. I love a man that reads books.
Oh.
Yeah, he would read the books that I would read so he could see what I was thinking.
Black love, y'all. I know.
Black love. Like Miss Lacy's the Black Love Flame for us tonight. So we'll shout out.
If you find a man that will read the books that you read just to see how you see the world, marry him.
That's awesome. That's real.
Mm-hmm.
That's real.
Or just stay
it's
single.
A little creepy, but it's
just
real.
stay single and mingle.
Single and mingle.
Single and mingle.
All right, so we're hoping that love wins and people take care of themselves. Anything else, ladies? Because I think we're about ready to wrap it up and say good.
I feel good about it, ladies. It's so good. I'm so glad to be back, reunited with you.
It feels good to be back and with our after the game shirts. You know,
yes, we got our shirt. Chair.
I'm too dark for all this stuff, y'all. I like my break.
It's like, okay, like, why are we wearing gray?
We gonna have to do something.
And then I'm so jealous because our producer had a black shirt. I didn't know there was a black option.
That's the same thing I told him. I'm like, why is your shirt black?
There was a black option.
I didn't know that was an option. Although I would have liked pink.
But we're gonna wrap it up and roll to our final commercial break.
Okay. It's been a pleasure, ladies.
I know. Good night, y'all.
Good night.
Good night.
Pray for me.
We will.
Support GG Events. Thank you, ladies, for a wonderful job.
Thank you.
I know.
All right. Great job, ladies.
All right. Good night, y'all.
All right. For Liz and Lashana and Lacy, I'm Mr. 411. We thank you all for watching. Have a good night.
Good night.